Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. These clips are recorded Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time during my live show. These shorter clips are so if you don't want to weed through everything, you can catch the short clips. And we're going to start out this one, talk about my affiliate for A2 Hosting. This is where all my servers are hosted at. They provide great service, free SSLs across the board. I'm running my entire Nextcloud instance, the infrastructure for a lot of my business, all my emails, all this kind of stuff. Definitely check out A2 Hosting. They are a great company. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into our business news, which I like to call corporatocracy, because we are not in a democracy. We are not in a capitalist system. We are in a corporatocracy, maybe an oligarchy, but corporatocracy sounds better. Come on. All right, so remember back to all of this ISP nonsense, net neutrality, and then they're all like, hey, we're not going to change anything. We just wanted to lobby and 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 lobby to destroy this bill, but we're not going to change anything. Well, the FTC now gives ISPs the green light to block any applications that they choose as long as they disclose it. So, hey, you guys, Comcast, they don't want to have YouTube on there. Oh, they can just block YouTube. Hey, it can be completely blocked. It can be an extra add-on as long as they tell you about it in their fees, man. That's all there is to it. Hey, you can have our streaming service for like $9.99. You can have YouTube though as an add-on for $19.95. Woohoo! That's basically what they're doing. Nobody ever actually was doubting that. Of course, all of the guys there, but Asia Chucher pie holes crap, though, goes through. Now, the only upside, the only good news, let's not even call it good news. Let's use the term potentially silver lining on a very, very dark storm cloud is that the politicians have actually voted to revert back net neutrality rules. I think it still needs to go through the other part. I can't remember if it was Congress or Senate, whatever else. But it ended up passing through. So, hey, that's good news. Yeah, this is the end of the internet as we know it. It's the end of the internet as we know it. Of course, if you just want to do yourself away, just go ahead and jump yourself into your latest Tesla. So this is actually from Tesla's website, introducing a more seamless navigation on autopilot. Remember autopilot, the worst name ever, because like autopilot on an airplane means you can literally probably take a nap. The cockpit will, unless you're on a 737 MAX where the thing just dive bombs into the ocean, unless you're on one of those, you can set autopilot on an airplane and just kind of let it do its thing. It kind of knows where it's going. There's not the complexities of the road and all these other airplanes flying close to it. You're generally okay to set that on and go with it. But autopilot on a Tesla is kind of a glorified cruise control in reality. And, cruise control is not necessarily a good thing, particularly in the hands of morons. So, autopilot, they're like, we have updated our navigate. We've introduced navigate on autopilot. What this is going to do, their boast here is that this will actually allow your autopilot to now change lanes for you. You're driving on down the road and they will now change lanes. It's pretty cool. In the settings menu, they can customize it. They enable start of trip entry, require lane change confirmation, and lane change notification. Through enable at the start of every trip, you can set it to automatically turn on each time a driver enters a navigation route. In other words, the person will be able to switch lanes for you. This actually isn't news to the Chinese, though, because hackers figured out how to hack the system using stickers, people. Stickers. To confuse the AI on the Tesla and cause them to change lanes into oncoming traffic. So Tesla, we have a great press release. We can now initiate our autopilot to change the news. The Chinese hackers are going, that's okay. We can change the lanes already. Put the certain stickers on the side of the road. The car literally thinks it's a lane change. It veers off into the oncoming traffic. In particular, if the oncoming traffic might contain a fire truck, because we know how much Teslas like to accelerate into fire trucks, particularly those that are stopped with sirens on the side of the road. They like steer for those things. Those things, barriers, man, anything with yellow. I'm waiting for a Tesla to take out a school bus. Something yellow! Hit the gas! You know, I mean, wow, people. So yes, the Chinese hackers tricked the Tesla's autopilot into suddenly switching lanes by utilizing stickers that are invisible to the drivers, but it completely confuses the LiDAR. They put these things in there, so Tesla, oh, we can do a lane change. The Chinese says, yes, you can. This is just crazy, people. This is crazy. I don't want to be in a Tesla. I don't want to be near a Tesla. I mean, yeah, that's all I need. Driving down the road, mind my business, actually watching. All of a sudden, a Tesla comes shooting into my lane because autopilot's like, hey, watch this. No, I'm not really interested in playing chicken with a Tesla, Elon Musk. But yeah, that's exciting stuff. That's exciting stuff. Update on the 737 MAX. I think we've kind of covered this story. I think we've had something about this 737 MAX story since the 737 MAXs decided to stop falling out of the sky. Well, they did their full-on thing, and they determined that the Ethiopian pilots were doing exactly what they did. In fact, they turned off the system 4 times and sent the airplane in a deep dive into the ground at full speed. 4 times they turned the thing off, and it kept turning itself back on. If you didn't catch the update from last week, the safety package that would make this stop doing this was an extra DLC, people, for an extra several $100,000. Yeah, you'd figure that if the thing, like, hey, we're just going to take these out. Hey, here's a great idea. If we crash these planes, they'll have to buy more. Ah! I'm telling you, people. I'm telling you. So the Ethiopian pilots were doing everything completely right. They've turned off the system 4 times that eventually brought the plane down. The thing kept on turning itself back on and then turning the nose down and stalling out. They kept on turning it off. They couldn't stop the AI from doing it. And we want to put this crap in cars on our roads? Yeah, it's bad enough that they're in airplanes, people. It's bad enough that they're in airplanes. So, yeah, so 737 MAX. Now, in response to all this, in response to the DLC, I really, really, really want to see the entire executive committee for Boeing on trial for 500 counts of secondary manslaughter. I think that that's exactly what we need, and that's what we're going to need to send a message to companies not to mess with human lives by selling the safety features for extra prices and forcing DLCs that update software without being aware of it. Wow. Well, on to cheerier news. Alexa has introduced 6 new skills that will enable your doctor's office to input medical records with an Alexa into a database. Hey, Alexa, order unicorn meat and get me some nitro. I think I'm having a heart attack. All right. So, of course, Alexa, the Amazon thing, they've been trying to get into the Amazon world, Amazon's been trying to get into the medical world. Now they've introduced 6 new skills on the Alexa healthcare skills from industry-leading healthcare providers, payers, pharmacy benefit managers, digital health coaching companies, or more can now use HIPAA-eligible environments to program their Alexas to take client data and put it into the clouds to have a better integrated full-on healthcare system, which is just such amazing news until we find out that healthcare has a huge cybersecurity problem. This is all we need. Because, you know, when my credit card number gets stolen, the company usually figures it out. I figure it out, we call up the company, we cancel the card, and we issue a new one, and I've lost maybe a half an hour of going online and updating numbers on anything that thing might be used on. No real harm, no real foul. But man, when all this stuff that's unchangeable, real data leaks out, there's not a lot we're going to do with this, people. Not a lot we're going to do with this. All right, so they're not just going for payment data. They're going after everything. They want to know everything about you. If you got marks or tattoos, they want to be able to duplicate to make themselves look like you. They want to figure out how to hack into everything they got. Because, and this is a huge issue. Well, Amazon's like, hey, we're now integrating this amazing Alexa skills to put all your health data on our cloud. And then we have the same exact day, I think it's the same day, same exact day, April 4th, this is released. April 4th, this is released. Amazon's boasting about its ability to take all this cloud data from the Alexa and put it into the cloud, that we have this article released on the healthcare's huge cybersecurity problem. This, people, is why I actually don't visit doctors much. I don't want this data in the cloud. I don't want this data in a computer. If I can go find a doctor that's an old school doctor and keeps paper files in the office, I'd go. But the last thing I want is all this crap on the systems as well. This is not good. So while Amazon can boast, it is a serious problem that all this stuff is leaking and breaking and all these kinds of things. Let's not mention the last part of the news. This is actually under security, but there's only 2 articles I have, and they're actually an article and the update to the article. So there has been a major DNS hijacking campaign. Now, if you caught my video the other day on pfSense, where I'm talking about how the DNS system works. This is exactly the cool application I was talking about. So DNS is a cascaded system. And what it turns out is that some routers have very old and insecure data, firmware that is easily hackable. And what a DNS ring from, get this guys, Google Cloud Services. Google Cloud Services apparently is radically insecure crap. It's like the wild, wild west of hackers or something. So utilizing the Google Cloud Services to basically put up certain websites, people are putting on malware that is scanning the entire internet looking for vulnerable devices. And then when it finds one of those vulnerable devices, it installs malware that intercepts the DNS. So just like I was talking about taking the host file and blocking certain sites by interrupting the DNS, these hackers are putting malware on your router that will redirect certain websites. We're going to get into what those websites are in a moment, but first, these guys actually reported to us the devices. D-Link routers, DSL 2640B, 2740R, 2780B, 526B. If you have one of these routers, get online, update the firmware. As long as you have upgraded firmware, you are protected from this attack. But the majority of these in the wild aren't upgraded because almost nobody upgrades the firmware of their router. The DNS edits, like I said, there's a lot more of them. These are the D-Link routers. I think there's another list as well. Okay, so those ones I just mentioned. Additionally, ArcW4 ADSL routers, DS-Link 260E, Secutech routers, and Totolink routers. These guys here are also seem to be impacted by it. So what they're doing is they are getting onto these systems and producing DNS records that move them into different locations. So just this afternoon, an update to this article was issued by ARS, where they're looking at some of the sites that are taken over. And the sites that are taken over, and they're major sites, gmail.com, paypal.com, netflix.com, uber.com, calyx.gov.br, I'm not sure what that one is. So several BR sites. Is that Brazil? I think that's Brazil, which includes Santander Bank. Like a lot of these BR sites are all banks. So tons of banks and some major services. If you have one of those routers and you visit one of those popular sites, it's very possible you have been on a fake site that malware has been pushed out to. So if you have one of those infected routers, get on there, do the firmware updates, make sure you're up to date on those routers, and be careful of these DNS hacks. Now, I did talk about in that video how I get around my router system by programming the DNS directly into my computer when I need to get around my block list. That will work some of the time. Some of the malware that they found will find when you're doing that and bypass that. Some of them don't. It's kind of a 50-50. So, and this is hard to do because they're really duplicating these sites. They're going to give you something that you typed in paypal.com. It looks like paypal.com. You don't think about it. You've entered data. and now you're in the middle of a phishing hack. And so this is some important stuff to keep in mind. So with that being said, thanks for coming along on this section of the business news. Again, have a look at the affiliate link in the description down below. You can look at the links above me or below me if you want to help support the channel, and join us on the social media if you want to get updates on the show and anything else that's going on. So thanks for coming along, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.